What is going on, everybody? It is time for me to get my annual state inspection, and I'm a little curious to see if I'll have any issues this time because, as you can see, I just installed my visor decal, which I know you probably can't see, but there's a line over here on the side where I think legally you're allowed to have like visor tint and visor decals. You can have it go down to that line or above. And I'm pretty sure it's above that line, so I shouldn't have an issue, but who knows. Another thing, with my ditch lights, I have my covers on, which I do not usually run, but first time I got an inspection, it failed because they said I had to have covers for any kind of accessory lights. So if you did not know that, quick FYI. So let's see what I get when I take it to a mom and pop inspection place. And she passed. My vehicle is still legally safe to drive, so that is always good news. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're having a fantastic day. This video will be going over a quick preventative maintenance thing you can do to properly maintain your battery, because as most of us know, battery is something you usually don't think about until it fails you and you get stranded. So I'm going to show you a few quick things you can do to make sure that's running smoothly. Okay, so what I'm going to be going over today is how to properly clean your battery to remove corrosion if you have that, and to prevent future corrosion from setting in. So all you're going to need are a few simple tools. In my case, you'll need a 10mm socket to remove the negative and positive battery terminals. Some kind of a metal brush. If you don't have one of these, sandpaper will do to polish the terminals. I got some of these pads that your connections will actually sit on, so this will go between, these will go between the top of the battery. They slip right over the terminal, and they'll go between that and the actual cable. And before I put those on, I will be coating the terminals and part of the top of the battery with this protective sealer that will prevent corrosion. Aloha Mora. I knew I shouldn't have bought this in China. Okay guys, so here I am under the hood. The first step just involves removing the negative terminal cable and then the positive. Yes, in that order. Never do the positive first. So I'll go ahead and do that with my 10mm socket. Let's get it nice and loose. Once you have it so it slips off, go ahead and take it off and just tuck it away so it's not going to contact the terminal again and any other metal. I just put it behind the battery right there. Then we do the same for the positive. If you do have corrosion on your terminals, just be careful not to break the bolt or, you know, slip and damage anything. So they usually come off pretty easily though. Alright, and there you go, and you can see I did have slight corrosion coming off the terminal, it looks like. Go ahead and tuck that down. If you have a brush or something, you can go ahead and remove any of the corrosion that you see. Obviously you can just blow it away too. Make sure obviously you're not blowing it into the wind. You definitely do not want this stuff in your face, in your eyes, breathing it in, so just be careful. Okay, so the battery is fully disconnected now. The truck has zero power, so what we're going to do is take your metal scrub brush like this, or like I said earlier, sandpaper would definitely suffice. We're just going to go ahead and clean each of the terminals so they're nice and shiny silver. Usually this stuff comes off pretty easily. Again, watch out for the dust. Make sure to get the top, sides, especially on the bottom towards the battery, because that is where the corrosion is coming from. I guess just gas vapors leaking out of the battery, contacting the terminal. Okay, that one's pretty good. Same for the negative side. And if you just have a little corrosion or no corrosion and you're cleaning these off, sandpaper might actually be a faster option, because you can see with this I have to sort of go around the terminal. Sandpaper, you could just sort of wrap it around and twist it, but alright, these weren't too bad, so the cleanup for the actual terminals was fairly easy. Now I'm going to go ahead and check the actual connections, because sometimes it gets, you can see a little on here. Try to hold this out of the way. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but the little corrosion dust coming off there, thankfully it's blowing this way, away from me. In this case too, when you're doing the connections, it's a little easier just to hold the brush steady and rub the connection over it. Just make sure when you're doing this not to go too far, because you don't want to remove the ground or anything. I'm not sure if it's coming up on camera. You can see it's got a bronze finish coming through. It's definitely what you want. And of course, do not forget the bottom. And then same exact thing for the positive. And on my battery in particular, you can see this one, hopefully you can see, this one definitely has a little corrosion built up on the inside of there. So I'm going to take my brush and sort of scoop out the middle. The negative terminal did not have this. If you really have a lot of corrosion built up, it's probably a good idea to use baking soda mixed with a little water on here. It should dissolve all the corrosion. I've heard you can even use like some soda pops, actually, like the same exact kind you drink. Okay, once you have that fully cleaned off, what you're going to use next is this battery spray. I've heard you can also use stuff like dielectric grease. I'm going to go ahead and try this though. I got it. I will of course put links down below where I got all these products, both these and the terminal seats. Shake it up nice and good. And I'm going to go ahead and spray the terminals with one coat, put those rings on, and then give them another coat with the connections also. I'm trying just to hit the battery part because this comes out blue. I already did this on my wife's vehicle, so obviously I don't want blue paint, for lack of a better term, everywhere. Make sure you get all the way around the base of the terminal. Okay, then I'll let that dry for a few minutes and move to the next step. Okay, for the next step I'll be using both of these. They're pretty much like felt washers. That's what they feel like. So these will go around the full terminal, helping seal the gases that come out of the battery from moving up the actual terminal. Doesn't really matter what you use, they're both made out of the same stuff. I'm just going to use the red for positive and black for negative. Then I'm going to put the connections back on and give it another coat once everything's sealed. And make sure you get these connections fully tight. You don't want this coming loose while you're driving, obviously. Make sure you can't move it with your hand. Do not over tighten it so it breaks. There's one. Okay, so the battery's fully attached again, and time for the second coat of the battery protector sealer. And we'll be getting the tops of the terminals this time as well. Also make sure to get some on the pad, make sure it's soaked in. Okay guys, and there you have it, battery fully protected from corrosion. Ideally, I will obviously monitor this and see how it goes and make another video if I have any issues, but it should be good to go. Another quick thing to point out, since you did fully disconnect your battery, your radio stations and things like that, your clock, all that will probably be reset. Though I've done this a few times on my truck, working on other electrical projects where I completely disconnected the battery, and my radio stations did not reset, so I don't know if there's a separate memory thing for the radio, but I've got a 2014, so I'm not sure if that's something they added at some point in the production line of the second gens, or if that's just how it goes. And that is it for another video. As you could tell, just a few minutes to do this. Quick, simple maintenance to make sure your battery's running as smoothly as possible and last as long as possible. People usually say you get about 3 to 5 years out of a battery, so this will definitely help it live as long as possible. So if you thought the video was helpful, please consider subscribing if you have not already done so. Give that video a like, comment below, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.